Hi, I'm Diane Kometa, and today on Dishin with Di, I'm going to show you how to make my baked potato salad. Some people call it loaded baked potato salad, and it is loaded with flavor. This can be served either hot or cold and is great any time of year. So let me show you what you need, and we'll get started today on Dishin with Di. Need some bacon that's been cooked until it's nice and crispy. Some shredded cheese. I have some cheddar, Colby, and Monterey Jack. Green onions that are sliced very thin. Some sour cream, mayonnaise, salt, pepper, and olive oil. And the main ingredient are these. These are baby red bliss potatoes, and I have a whole bunch here. And what I've done is I've washed them all, and I've taken any eyes out. I've removed those or any imperfections, and I patted them dry. And I've already begun slicing them. So I'm just gonna slice all of those in half, and then I'm gonna put them in this nice big bowl. Now with the cheese, I have it divided. So I have some cheese in this bowl, and then I have a little bit in this other bowl, because what I'm gonna do with this is use this at the end to kind of top the whole thing. And the same with the scallions, or the green onions they're called. These are sliced nice and thin, but I have another one right here, and this is what it looks like before you slice it up. It, looks like a stalky thing with a little onion ball on the bottom and some roots, and you don't want this white part, so you just want to clip that off and then slice this up nice and thin. So I'm just going to continue here with my potatoes. I have my oven preheating to 450 degrees. I also have a baking sheet that I've lined with some parchment paper, and then after I get these sliced up, I'll show you what we're going to do next. My potatoes are all chopped up, and there were some that were a little bit bigger, so I cut those down. You just basically want them all to be about the same size. And now I'm putting that olive oil in. This is extra virgin olive oil, and the little bit of salt and pepper that I had. Just sprinkling that in, and I'm going to toss this around. So just make sure you have a nice sized bowl and get this all thoroughly coated. Now you want to take the potatoes, and I actually have two baking sheets here that are lined with parchment paper, and I'm going to distribute all these potatoes between these two baking sheets, and I'm going to try to do that in one even layer. So as you can see, we're really going to bake these potatoes, and that's what makes this potato salad, baked potato salad, a real baked potato salad. It gives them a nice crispness on the outside, and they just taste absolutely delicious. So you got some seasoning on here already with the salt and pepper, and then we're just going to pop these into the preheated 450 degree oven for about 25 minutes or until they're lightly brown. And what I usually do is I go in there and I kind of toss them around halfway through to make sure they're browning properly. And then you want to set them out and let them cool for a little bit, and then we'll get on with the next step. My potatoes are out of the oven, and I'm just setting them on this rack to cool for a little bit. While my potatoes were cooking, I took my bacon and I chopped it up. Normally, when my potatoes are cooking, I cook my bacon, but I had another recipe today that I made that had bacon in it, so I cooked my bacon then. So this is all chopped up in nice small pieces. You can crumble it if you want to. I've also reduced the temperature of my oven to 350 degrees because we're going to finish this off by melting the cheese and all these ingredients together. Now there's an alternative method to this if you want to make this ahead, and I'll talk about that as we go along. But for right now, we're going to get a really nice big bowl because we got some mixing to do. And the first thing we're going to do with that bowl is put in our potatoes. Now we're just going to add everything else in. So here goes. That bacon is going to give it a nice crisp, smoky, salty flavor, and the cheese, when that gets in there and that melts, it's going to be nice and gooey. And these green onions are going to give it that nice flavor that you love when you have a loaded baked potato. And then we have, of course, the sour cream and the mayonnaise. These two things combined together are going to make this really nice and creamy. So now I'm just going to take this and give it a really nice mix around. Okay, that looks really well coated. Now it might look like there's a lot of sour cream and mayonnaise in there, but it's not, because you have a lot of potatoes. And when you bite into that potato, you want that moisture from the sour cream and the mayonnaise and the cheese all to be coating it. And it's gonna turn out perfectly, trust me. I've served this recently at a couple parties, and if you follow me on Facebook, you know I served it with some cowboy steaks, which are these big, thick steaks. It went perfectly with that. So that's an idea for you. Steaks, burgers, no matter what, this is a winner. Now I'm just gonna top this with a little bit of salt. I know there's some saltiness from the bacon in there, and the potatoes are already salted. We just wanna make sure it just has enough, and a little bit of pepper. So this is according to your taste. And just give that one more toss around, and then I have a 9x13 casserole dish here. And I'm gonna put this baked potato mixture into that casserole dish. And I've already sprayed that with some nonstick spray. So here we go. All right, that spread out in there nice and evenly. And now I'm gonna take that reserved cheese that we have, and I'm just gonna sprinkle this on top along with the green onions, that little bit we had. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? The last time I made this, I made it ahead of time. I made it one day ahead. And what I did was I stopped right here, and I took it and I put some plastic wrap on it, and I put it in my refrigerator, let it sit overnight, and then 2 hours before I was ready to serve dinner, I took it out and I let it sit on the counter until it came up to room temperature. Then I did what I'm about to do now. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm gonna take this and put this in there uncovered for about 15 minutes, or until the cheese melts and everything becomes nice and gooey and gets to know each other in there, and then you're gonna serve it. Now, one last thing, you can serve this cold. You could serve it just like this if you want to, or you could pop it in the fridge and serve it cold. But let me just tell you from experience, putting it in the oven, it really makes a difference. So I'll be back and we'll get to taste this bad boy. And there it is, guys. Look at that. It's nice and ooey and gooey. And I am gonna get a bite of this. Let me get some of that cheese. Look at that. It has everything. Oh boy. Cheesy, bacony. It is over the top, delicious, and my mouth is very full. You better try this. This is ridiculously good. And the recipe is on my website, dishinwithdi.com. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. I look forward to seeing you next time. And I hope I made your life a little easier, more enjoyable, and delicious. Bye-bye now.